As I go through my life story, you will see why. Started out as a young kid from Washington, Florida, played game of football and basketball. Got to high school, continued my high school career, graduated high school, was able to accept a scholarship offer to Georgia Southern University, played there, as Terry mentioned, was a member of 2 Division I national titles, won the Walter Payton Award, and my senior year was on the Heisman Trophy ballot. Finished playing collegiate football, was drafted by Chicago Bears, and spent 8 years there. Finished up and stayed another 7 years. But growing up in my small town of Washington, Florida, there was a couple of obstacles that I had to overcome. And the first one was my speech impediment. At the age of 5, I started kindergarten. My mom and dad realized I wasn't talking and speaking as much as other kids. So when they put me in kindergarten, they put me in speech therapy. While in speech therapy, they came to the conclusion that I have a speech impediment. A speech impediment simply means I started when I talk. At first it was hard, been a kindergarten 5-year-old. I wanted to be just like everybody else, but I was slightly different. I was one of the only ones getting called out to go to speech therapy. And I can remember my speech therapist, Ms. Brown, would come into class to get me out. Some days I would try to hide from her. We had these beanbags where we had special reading. Other days I would try not to make eye contact. When I would walk out to class, some of my classmates would ask, where are you going? Some days I would ignore them, and other days I would try to get my words out that I'm going to speech. Continued to go to speech and got into about the 5th grade. Kind of built enough confidence to tell my mom and dad that I didn't need speech anymore. That speech wasn't helping, it wasn't for me. But growing up in my household, when you make a statement such as that, you have to prove yourself. So my mom and dad gave me the sports page and told me to read the entire article. But I tried to be the first one on the sentence, nothing came out. I couldn't even pronounce the words. Thinking I'm smarter than my parents, I tried to skip that word and go to the second word. And still nothing came out. I couldn't even pronounce it. And without any response, I knew I was going to continue to go to speech. Got in high school, had a tremendous high school career. I probably did about 7 to 8 news interviews throughout my 4 years in high school. Got to Georgia Southern. My first collegiate game I had like 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Week 2 I had like 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. The reason I mention that is because I worked for doing about 7 to 8 interviews throughout my 4 years of high school, doing about 7 to 8 interviews per day. Whether it was the Atlanta Constitution, the Macon Telegraph, the Russell Chronicle, the Savannah Morning News, and even when ESPN came down to do a feature on Georgia Southern's return to glory, it would be their report. And every time I did the interview, I would think back when I was in the 5th grade and I told my mom and dad I didn't need speech anymore. It wasn't helping me. But my mom and dad knew that somewhere down the line I was going to have to be able to speak somewhere important. And those are the reasons I say that God is good. Because I was blessed to have a mom and dad who didn't allow me to use my speech impediment as a crutch. Whether it was my Easter speeches, my Christmas speech, or even class presentations, I had to give it a try. My freshman year at Georgia Southern, Coach Johnson, Carl Johnson, called me to his office and he told me, if you don't want to do the interviews, you don't have to. And I thought about it for about 3 seconds. And I said, well, Coach, if my dad finds out that I'm not doing the interviews because of my speech impediment, that's not going to sit well. And, having much respect and fear of my father, I continued to do those interviews. My response was, if they want to do the interviews, they'll wait. And sometimes they came out very clear, and sometimes it took a while. But with basketball, the Chicago Bears, Chicago is the 2nd largest media outlet in the U.S. So whether it's making my first NFL start, been a part of 2006, 2007 Super Bowl team, and having cameras up in your face, actually, what are your expectations for the game? Being able to bring recognition back to the Chicago Bears is great, but my university was Georgia University. But more importantly, my very, very small town of Washington, Florida, and my parents' blueprint of what it took to be successful on the field and off the field. He did everything right. I can remember a quick story. I was an 8th grader and Mike was a sophomore. He won state, and going into his junior year, he would run around the town of Elancho during the summer when it's about 100 degrees. So my friends, we think we're pretty good. We know what it takes. So we're like, man, why is Mike running around when it's 100 degrees outside? Well, going into the senior year, Bobby Brown, legendary coach, was coming to our house to offer him a free education to play the game of football. 8 miles up the road, Steve Spurrier was coming to our house to offer him a free scholarship to play the game of football. University of Michigan, Lord Carr was flying down to visit our home to give my brother a free education to play the game of football. So guess what I did that next summer? I ran around the town of Elancho because I wanted somebody to come and offer me a free education to play the game of football. Well, those schools didn't come knocking, and it was okay. It was okay because growing up in Elancho, we always understand adversity. So I had 3 offers come out of high school from my high school guys over there. Three offers. Georgia Southern Soccer State and FAMU. Signed at Georgia Southern, and then look back. And then look back as Terry mentioned some of the accomplishments that I was able to do in a team effort. And a couple months ago, probably a year ago, ESPN came out with a list of the 150 top athletes to play college football. And I was fortunate enough to be number 84, I believe. And that was well, not just for Georgia Southern, but all student athletes who doesn't get the opportunity to go to the quote-unquote P5 schools. And it's a great recognition and a great honor. Because I'm always a true believer, it doesn't matter where you're from. A lot of the population of about 10,000 people. Georgia State University, which at the time was 1AA, went on with a 6th-round draft pick. Figured I would be a first, second, at worst, 3rd-round draft pick when the draft was going on. I fell asleep in the 4th round because my emotions were up and down, thinking I'm about to get drafted. I fell asleep, and at the end of the 5th round, I woke up, and about 5 minutes later, my phone rang, and there was head coach Dick Duran of the Chicago Bears saying that we're about to select you for our next pick. And before he could finish his sentence, seeing my name flash across the bottom of the screen, it was an amazing feeling because everything that I had did worked out. The hard work, everywhere I go out to speak, I was in youth and organizations, and everywhere I go, I always start my speech out with hard work pays out because it does. Just a young kid from Washington with a speech accompaniment who worked hard, put himself in position to be successful. When opportunity came, I did not put the door back in. As a freshman, I redshirted. That was one of the toughest things I had to do. But I think Coach Johnson had a plan, and it worked out. And I went on to be a 4-year starter, and just the stats and the accomplishments that went along with it was amazing. So I'm going to open up for questions. I like the interaction with you guys because there's a lot of things that you may have that I may not cover. So I'm opening up for some questions. Yeah, so the Peterson Foundation touches a couple communities, Statesboro, which is one, the Savannah area, and also my hometown of Lotro, Florida. And that's another thing of being blessed, of having an older brother being able to be the blueprint. So as soon as he was drafted, he started the foundation. We give back to senior citizens in our community. And so as soon as I got drafted, I started my foundation. So having people around you is great because you don't have to look far for that leadership. Yeah, so my NFL career, all 8 years were in Chicago. My first year, they were redoing Soldier Field, so we actually had to play our home game down at University of Champaign, University of Illinois in Champaign, Illinois. And that was a change because every game was like a road game. Of course, we have a away game, but the home game was actually away. It's about a 3-hour drive down to Champaign, Illinois. So we would actually fly down, stay in a hotel, and coming from Georgia Southern, I think I lost a total of 5 games in 4 years. That year we were 3-12. Yes. So it was rough. It was rough, and the weather was something I wasn't accustomed to, coming from Alachua, Florida, and South Georgia, where the temperature drops, but it always rises. Chicago was gloomy from 6 in the morning to 8 p.m., 9 p.m., so you didn't know what time of day it was. But we bounced back. And was fortunate enough to play in the Super Bowl in 2006, 2007, which was a great experience. Got to play a couple history in that Super Bowl was Devin Harrison taking the opening kickoff back. I was on the field for that. I almost got caught up in the moment. I saw the flashing lights, and as a kid, I always thought they did that for TV. But when they kicked off, you saw all of the flashing lights. I didn't know. I got to make a block. So I got my block and sprang him off, and he scored. And also been part of 2 African-American head coaches, Tony Dungy and Lovely Smith. So I was part of 2 straight moments in NFL Super Bowl. Yeah, now I played for Lovely. Dungy got my Super Bowl ring, but actually, Lovely Smith comes from a brother Tony Dungy. So it's the same mannerism, didn't do a lot of yelling, respect you like a man, but wasn't gonna keep telling you. And if he told you more than one time, then he was probably gonna be on the bench. And if he told you 2 or 3 times, he was gonna release you. And which was great because that's how life is. You're gonna get a second chance, but those thirds and fourths, aren't gonna be there. So try not to mess up more than once or twice.
Talk about recruiting a little more, how that went, what they told you, what led you to doing something.
Yeah. So could I talk about my recruiting? So Tracy Ham, of course, legendary coach, legendary player, I'm sorry. Georgia Southern on the coaching staff. So it seemed like every morning he was walking through our weight room door. And he talked a lot, but the only thing that I remember was he telling me in the triple option, as the feedback, everything starts in your stomach. Meaning the quarterback is going to open up and you're going to be the first option. And we ran the same offense in high school. And that stuck with me. So that means I'm going to get a lot of opportunities to make a lot of plays. But the recruiting has definitely changed now. Right when I was coming through, you receive letters. And the only difference between whether they showed interest in that letter was if it was hand signed by the head coach. But now the recruiting is a lot different. They have the edits that go out, the calls, the texts, the tweets. It's a lot different. And I think it's kind of giving a couple of the kids a little false illusion that they are kind of better than they are. And there wasn't as many publications. You either an All-American or you wasn't. Not 5 or 6 different publications got their own All-American, which is good, but I just feel like everybody isn't an All-American. You're gonna have 1 or 2 special guys on the team in the area, and that's okay. That means the other guys We coming along strong. We stumbled against two great teams, Louisiana Lafayette. Had them exactly where we wanted to, but just couldn't finish. And then with a real good coach in Carolina team, same thing, had them on the ropes, but just couldn't finish. But I like how they got to continue week to week, getting better. The climate we had now with COVID is, it's tough because early on we had a lot of guys that were close contact and with the CDC guidelines as we are obeying right now, the close contact require a lot of guys to miss a lot of time, which isn't an excuse, but it's a reason. It's a true fact. So, but I got to have bounced back and I'll look good this week.
What was your playing weight in college and what was in the pro?
So I came into college right at 200, and when I went to the NFL Combine, I was about 212. With true weight, I was probably about 205. But my agent told me to drink a lot of water before I weighed in because at 205 they wanted the NFL that is wanted you to run about 4.3, 4.4. But I was probably a high 4.5. 146 guy. So the heavier I looked, the better my time looked. So those are just some of the tricks that you have to do to meet the NFL measurements. And it worked. I got drafted and was able to play for one team for 8 years. So now I'm still about 210, 212. Currently, so stay in shape a little bit. Yeah, no, I did that to make sure. A couple. I'm gonna think of one that I can tell. Yes. Oh man, the toughest player. Honestly, man, every Sunday, and the reason I say that is, there are guys that has the names, not that they're not good, but the guy right beside him or the guy behind him, maybe just as good. I think we know one, Tom Brady was behind the guy that was pretty good, Drew Bledsoe, and he got his opportunity, and we saw what happened. So you can't go into a game thinking because this guy's out, it's going to be an easy game. You are not playing against the best in your conference or the best in the state, but you're playing against the best in the world every Sunday, and if you go out there thinking it's going to be easy. But every game is fun because you got to prepare for it, week to week, and it shows that if you're not prepared, you can get embarrassed. He didn't come in and speak, but I did eat at his restaurant a couple of times, and he recognized it. So, that was always great, when a legendary coach like that recognizes you. And just for the Bears years, I had the opportunity. My rookie year, the Chicago Bears, they had this fan convention. And my rookie year, I was fortunate enough to sit alongside Gail Sayre doing an autograph sign. And I wish I grew up in the era where they had a smartphone and I could have took a selfie. But him and I got pretty close, and his wife also. And about 6 years ago, we were at a Bears event, and him and his wife came up and spoke before I get a chance to. like, hey, Adrian, how you doing? And, you know, when a guy like that knows your name, you know, it kind of means a little bit more. So, you know, that was a humbling experience, and we all know we had a couple months ago. But he was one of the only guys that I could ever see that could cut off his inside foot. And in our meeting room with the Bears, we had pictures of former running backs. And his picture was of him cutting. As a running back, you always talk to cut on the outside foot, you know, but he could cut off the inside foot and still have balance and explosion going the opposite direction. So just watching, you know, highlights of guys that came before myself is helped them a lot.
Defensive players, who are the hardest hitters that you
Okay, but I would get the hardest hit that I got hit by, and that was Warren Sapp. You know, our team was playing, it was a zone read, so zone read, you know, you take the lateral step. I was on the defensive lineman, you know, so you can see which hole you want to hit. He was covered up, meaning he was blocked. So as you get close to the line of scrimmage, your eyes go to the linebacker. So that's what mine did, and he came off. I'm not going to say who missed the block, but he came off his block, and kind of gave it a nice little shot in the chest and knocked me down. And you know, Warren Sapp is a little extra, so you know, you put the elbow on and as he's getting up, and I said, I'm from Florida too, and he said, he's from Florida also. So it's that thing about, you know, if you're from Florida, so he helped me up and called me a rook. But that was my hardest hit. So, you know, that was a learning lesson for myself. In NFL, you have to watch the D-lineman until you get through the hole and then put your eye on the linebacker. So, you know, that was a learning point. You know, you can't read the same as college because those guys make quick plays. And the speed of the game is a whole lot faster. In NFL, it's not all about speed and power. It's about technique and tendencies of players.
Best player as a teammate that you played with?
Best player as a teammate, probably Devin Peterson. You know, to touch the ball as few times as he did, but to score as much as he did. I think his rookie year, I think he scored like 11 touchdowns, punt return, kick return, and one on a missed field goal home. And also, what you rarely see was he scored on the St. Louis Rams. We were up 2 touchdowns, and we expected them to do an onside kick. So we had our hands team on the field, and they kicked it deep, and he took a hands team kickoff to the house, which is filled with wide receivers. You know, maybe a quarterback out there for a hands team, and he took that one back for a touchdown. Just an electric player, and also a great guy. Great guy. So Devin Harrison is probably the best player I've played with. Oh yeah, Paul Johnson. So we had a guy on the team that didn't play a whole lot, and we were up, but not by much. And the guy didn't do what he was supposed to do. And we'll skip that. Paul Johnson's a great guy, man. I do have one. So we were not doing what we're supposed to do at practice, and he kicked us out of practice, and everybody, you know, and the leader of the team was trying to, come on, coach, we got it, and he was like, no, I meant to get off the field. So he kicked us out of practice, and he always had this saying, it's either my way on the highway. And if you don't believe me, try it. And didn't many people try it because you know he was stern and he meant what he said, but it worked. It worked. We played in 3 Division I national titles, and we won 2. So you know whatever he said, we win. And that's what kind of our leaders took. You know, if the coach officer said it, you know, the leaders at that time, you know, kind of backed it up. Some guys didn't want to do curfew. We had curfew Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night during the season. And some of the first would come and say, why we got curfew? And our response was because of win. You know, so, you know, he built the culture, but continued the culture from Earth established was do right. Do right and have a lot of fun. And we did it.
I think Coach Johnson had called a role to do that. I believe I'm wrong to make this statement. Every time you started contacting the middle school, you never missed a year. He's very dedicated to giving back.
Yeah, he was. He was. And like I said, he's a great guy. And don't say the truth. And that's what I love. I love about it. And you know, he did. When I signed at Georgia Southern, didn't make any promises. Said God allowed me to compete, and that's all I needed. I just wanted an opportunity. I didn't like the decision at the time to redshirt me, but I think it worked out pretty good. I can remember when he told us it was the night before our first game, and man, it hurt. It hurt, but you know, stayed true to it, and that year I won scout team